Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirits. Welcome home. Today we are having a reading that is open. So, open reading today. I want to know what Spirit has to say without any preconceived idea. So, let's see, what do we have for pile number one? We have Scorpio, we have Taurus, Sagittarius, and Libra. And your card is the Nile River. Okay. Second pile, we have Pisces, Gemini, Aries, and Leo. Your card is Nefertiti. The third pile, we have Virgo, Cancer, Capricorn, Aquarius, and your card is Bastet. Okay, so I will give you a moment for you to choose your pile with your zodiac sign, your significator card, or the tarot deck, or maybe even just your intuition. I will see you in your reading. Pile number one, your card is Nile. And Nile to me is a little bit similar to Temperance. It's all about patience. It's all about timing. So I think that there's something that Spirit wants to talk to you about. Time. Something that needs time or something that has its own time. But it overall is very positive development, a very positive evolving situation. Like something that lasts, something that will last, you know? Okay, so let's see what else. What is the theme of the reading? What is this reading about for pile number one? Since this is an open reading, theft. Interesting. Sad news. And good gentleman. Interesting sequence. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have? Pile number one. What is this reading about? Okay. So we have affair with Venus in Leo. Okay, let's see. Fortune with the sun in Leo. Interesting. Harmony with the sun in Libra. And endurance with the sun in Scorpio. A lot of sun cards. It's interesting because I felt that the cards were kind of clumped, but I started to take the cards from different parts, but they all ended up having the sun. Almost all of them. Only one of them has Venus. Interesting. So I think I can get a little bit of the picture here. possibly something that is starting now has the potential or the need for time to develop. And it's like thinking in terms of years instead of months or weeks. I think that you should take this time of the year to consider your long-term plans. Because the cycles of the sun because we have three kinds of suns here, fortune, harmony, and endurance, I would say that it's like three turns that the sun must take so that you get to a certain point. Let me just check the lighting so that you can see the cards properly. Okay, hopefully that is better. So I think that this reading is about recovering from something. And in the process of recovering from something that you might have lost or that was taken from you, you should possibly think about your process in terms of years. And 3 years from now, I think you'll be in a completely different level. Because things are progressing, although they might be a little bit slow or they might just require certain patience. What I'm seeing here is that you are being helped by someone who has a lot of love for you and a lot of protective energy. Someone who admires you, who views you as someone who has a lot of potential, but also someone who can do things, who can create things. And I think that this person is going to help you, but it will require that you kind of step up to that person, to meet that person in the middle somehow. And the process, it's like you know what can happen that is good, but the process is very important. So the process of nurturing, of enjoying, it's possibly very annoying to focus on uncertainty because of what has happened before, because maybe something was taken away from you and you were kind of in a situation that was unpleasant because of the unknowns and because of possibly some deceit or something that was done to you that was dishonest. And the fighting against that energy must have been very draining and possibly kind of tested your faith. It tested your resolve. But this reading is telling you that you have now shifted into a completely different story, because this is a completely different energy in your life, and that you have the protection to have faith in that, to have faith in the ideas, in the concepts that you are embodying, working on, communicating. Very interesting. I do feel like this reading is about your life's mission and your work, possibly your career. It can indicate collaboration with others. It might be teamwork, but I think that you have someone who is guiding you, who is helping you, waiting for you, possibly. Six of Arrows with transition. Definitely leaving something behind. Two of Vessels with attraction. King of Stones with Wolf. The Great Bear. This is the Judgment card. Page of Vessels with Otter. Eight of Stones with Skill. Okay, so for the final outcome, sorry. Oh, okay, Queen of Stones with Bear. Here. And the Ancestor. You know, I get this feeling from other readings before, so possibly I'm kind of connecting with the same collective. So these are people who are possibly going into a shift of becoming a master in something. So becoming the teacher, becoming the person that you were used to looking up to, and possibly also fill this position of the person who protects others, the person who uses his or her strength to protect or create a space for others to create, to express. It's like a benefactor. It's like having a huge donor, like a person who is sponsoring you. So also achieving that point in your life where you are that person, you are that sponsor, you are the person who gives the credibility to others because you have gone through the process yourself and you have that confidence. So this reading is about reassuring you that you are on the path to that confidence. I see 3 years. So starting now, 3 years. In 3 years, you will go from the person who needs that sponsor, who follows the guidance, who needs the help, to the person who gives the help. The person who has the strength and the capacity, the talent, the skill, the experience, the life experience. Because something was denied to you in the past, and I think that the reason it was denied, it was because you had to live, you had to be more picky, because you had a lot. It's like you were fortunate to have great ideals, like a great vision of beauty. And it can also be hard because you are constantly confronted with something that's not, up to your standards. It's easier for that to find that because it's more common, it's more banal. And because you needed something very special, it took time. And because you want to be in a certain level, to look back on your achievements and be resolute and completely confident, completely stable in your achievements, in your sense of self, your identity, your territory. I also feel like we have so much sun here. Like this is an ego thing, but this is like developing a healthy ego. So developing a strong sense of yourself, because possibly that sense of self could have been stolen, let's say, from you. There might have been many moments in your life that were stolen by other people. Possibly like people were stealing things from you. They were stealing your work. They were stealing your merit, stealing your energy, like having a lot of vampirical energies around you that really kind of punished you for having an ego. Because people who are vampirical, they need the light of others to feed. So they can't get into contact with source and spirit by themselves. So they need other people to feed. So whenever someone who is good-natured and has a strong sense of morality and ethics, and wants to develop a healthy ego, that person will find a lot of obstacles. And this is because I don't know why this was established. I never thought of this, like, I'm just, in the flow right now. So I'm so sorry if I don't make any sense, but just bear with me. So if you have a strong sense of morality and ethics, as you are developing your ego, you develop the boundaries, and you have to put people in their place sometimes. Like you're not allowed to do that to me. You have to, move back because this is my territory. You see, like the great bear is kind of testing anyone who gets in there. So if you start to be more patient and test people before you allow them into your play space, into your sweet and tender nature, maybe some people will take that as an insult. Maybe some people will kind of punish you and make you feel lonely because they leave, because they don't allow other people to have their own boundaries, or they misinterpret them, or you were kind of, experimenting and it wasn't quite really explicit what was happening, and the other person might have been like sad or offended, or didn't want to kind of negotiate with you, because sometimes it's a negotiation. I feel like this is a lot about relationships that were really kind of undermining your sense of power, your sense of your ego. And developing a healthy ego will allow you to be a teacher, to assert yourself, will allow you to help others, to be a guide that other people will respect. But above all that, I think that it will, I don't like the word empower. I don't know why. It just sounds weird to me. But you will have the right tools to assert yourself with morals and ethics that are impeccable, so that you don't feel guilty at all. You don't feel like anyone can blame, do the blame game or the victimhood game with you, or try to, mess with your thoughts and make you sad for, unreasonable reasons, unreasonable, motives, or hide things from you. Because if you have a healthy ego, you're not hurt that easy, and people won't be able to get to you so deeply, and also hide things from you, because it's like your sun will shine so bright that it won't allow for the hidden yeah it won't allow for people who want to hide things from you to be near you. And that will also give you a lot of this sense of safety that you need because of the theft here and the sad news. I think that you have possibly been questioned in that sense, like, can I be safe? Can I assert myself? And also, how do I say this? Like, not trigger other people into violence. I don't know why I thought of this, because maybe you think that the fact that you assert yourself creates a violent response in others, and if so, um, I mean, this is hard, but I would possibly just get away from a person that has a violent response in any case. So any dangerous situation that you might have been in can also kind of be in this psychological dynamic here. But let's see more. So why? So yeah, the green woman. I think that you had a lot to give. Possibly you were very giving. You were very nurturing in relationships in the past, and it's easy to be taken advantage of. And it's very hurtful, and it's a betrayal of that nurturing nature, right? Of love, of open-heartedness that I see here with the Page of Vessels. So feeling like the Great Bear is protecting you with righteous, how do I say this? It's righteous aggression, and it's not violence. It's just aggression in a protective way, like like the dog that barks to protect the owners because a stranger is coming in. So having the alarm systems on and knowing that you have people who have your back, who protect you, and the good gentleman here is very important in this matter also. So understanding that in order to preserve this innocence and to preserve this nurturing attitude, this nurturing vibe that you need, I think you need also to create. You need to feel like you're protected. Wow. This is really the way that you get your shine back, because and start something. I think that you really want to create something very awesome and wondrous. I mean, you have the Empress, the Sun, and the Fool at the end of the reading. So it's like a whole new game for you. It's something that is such a pure and beautiful connection to body, mind, spirit. It's like a very wholesome, healthy, playful child. That's what I'm feeling. The vibe here. It's like having your needs met and also having some, surplus energy to give to others, to create from nothing, from the blank page that we see here reflected in the cauldron, and shining that light, not being afraid to jump, to be playful, to be open-hearted, to open your hands and be receptive to whatever comes, having that curiosity. Beautiful reading. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 2. Your card is Nefertiti. And Nefertiti is very similar to, maybe more the Empress, but it's a feminine presence. There's something very sweet about this card that I think is very nurturing also, very feminine energy, but it's kind of neutral in its energy, so it can also represent yourself in your feminine aspect. So, okay. Let's see, what else do we have? And what is this reading about? For pile number 2, we have house, grief and adversity, and unexpected money. Okay. So let's see, what else do we have? Okay, very assertive card. One more. So cards are easier in this pile. I don't know why. Do we have something else for pile number 2? Okay. Very simple. We have Moon in Leo with appreciation, harmony, Sun in Libra. It also came out in pile number 1. We have Mars in Leo with egotism, wow, these are the repeat. I mean, I shuffled the cards, so please, this is really strange. And they also are in the same position. Okay, so sorry, Sun in Scorpio with endurance. So this same combination came up in pile number 1, so maybe it's something to check. But I'm feeling a completely different energy though. And I think that maybe that this has some relation, with the sun that's behind Nefertiti. Very interesting. It's a completely different theme. I want to get the tarot because I just want to see where this is going in more detail. Okay, I'll put the card and just see what else comes up. 9 of Cups. Very different energy. The 2 of Cups. So I think that maybe this is some sort of code coming in to play here. It's like a pattern that might repeat itself for many of you in the collective. You know what? I was talking about something that would be created in 3 years. And possibly I had this hint that possibly this is something that is important for everyone that is listening, not only pile number 1 or 2 exclusively. So maybe 3 years from now, something that's going to be said here is very important to the next 3 years. Knight of Cups. Two of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. Eight of Swords. No, sorry. This is here. Okay, so what are the... Ace of Cups. And the Four of Pentacles. I think that this specific reading is about people who might have been either thinking about relocating or have relocated and are now in a process, going through a process. And that process needs you to kind of tend the land in a way to be more connected to the rhythms, the natural rhythms of the place where you are rooted in. And I think that this is also coming into question because possibly you're kind of juggling at least two locations. And maybe you relocated for economic reasons, financial reasons. I feel like you are chasing your dream. It's like someone who is kind of chasing the dream and the treasure and is now in a situation where either you have to make a tough choice or you're caught in between two very different options or places, possibly very different cultures. Possibly in one of these cultures, you don't speak the native language and it's hard. I feel like there's this energy of kind of feeling like you have to start over and having, this heavy feeling and confusing, like where should I start from? Like what should I do first? Like worrying. Worrying because you are in an unfamiliar place. It can also be an unfamiliar place in your mind because I feel like there was this sense of home and rootedness that was possibly put into question. And it happened because you needed to maybe you needed to search for instance, like a company that would appreciate your talents, a place where there were more resources to feed your ideas and your projects, or a place where the basis, the base for survival was more stable. It's also possible that you felt like you had to make this change for a relationship. I can also see this. But I also have this sense of like hard work. Like you have to kind of renew your vows to something, towards something or someone. So possibly if you make a specific choice, for a specific location or a specific person. Like, I choose you, I choose this path. I am not confused or on the fence, sitting on the fence anymore. I choose this. I work on this. I also see like there's a lot of transactions being made back and forth, like money going back and forth. So maybe some of you work in finance, trading. That maybe that's why like 3 years from now is very important. I don't know why. Maybe it's a specific period where you can build something of value. If you're connected to the financial system or to something that is very dependent on, we are all dependent, of course, this is a very general reading, but something that is directly dependent on the financial system. You can be, your persona, your identity can be of someone who works in that field. That's what I'm seeing here. Okay, I want to clarify a little bit more, because what is the message here? What does pile number 2 really need to know? I want to clarify the 8 of Swords first. 2 cards. Sorry, 10 of Cups. And the Tower. Okay, so possibly you kind of betted on something that you thought was really like almost impossible to break, but it broke. There's some sort of structure that is coming down, or that disappointed you. Someone who is chasing the dream, someone who is really invested in this. It could also be a relationship that didn't work out as you thought it would, or that kind of changed. It changed so much and you need to start something over. Maybe there's a more conservative approach here, or to try to have more like a careful investment. Not so much, not so, I just hear like get back to the land, back to the land. So it's like you were in a home, you were in a house or in a building. There was a building and then you were like, this isn't working. I need to get back to the land, to the roots, to, the natural rhythms, the animals, the beasts, let's say, the more instinctual, connected to the rhythms of nature, the sun and the moon, the cycles of the seasons. It's more rooted, a little bit slower, a little bit more grounded, but still keeping that passion. It's just a redirecting of the energy. Because I do feel like the vision that you had has to change somehow so that you can keep on going. And I also think that this is heavily influenced by the feminine energy. So it can be a motherly energy, it can be a female friend, a female boss, or a relationship with, a romantic relationship with. this feminine energy. Sorry. Okay. The Emperor. Interesting. So the female energy or feminine energy, sorry, and the masculine energy. So this is telling me that this dynamic is very important. Somehow, Queen of Wands. Death card. And the Page of Swords. I feel like being more grounded in a sense, like more in one location, can bring you flexibility in other areas. Because I think that change is going to be a little bit more, it's going to be constant in a way. So I think that you will experience a lot of change in the coming future. Things will be changing a lot. And I think that you need to be very flexible. You need to be like the wind. You know, whatever the wind blows, there you go. But in another sense, that you should be more prudent, more conservative with something else, possibly investments, possibly maybe you're changing your mind. You're changing your mind about something. Maybe you're changing your mind about a person, about a feminine person, or someone who represents the feminine. Or it's the reverse. You are the feminine and you're changing your mind about a masculine. This can also be the case. I feel like there's a very charismatic dynamic between two people, one more masculine and one more feminine. And I feel like there's this dream that these people have of like a completion, a complete dream, like having it all, having, abundance, material abundance, spiritual abundance, having a beautiful relationship, possibly a family, building something or building an empire, because we have the Emperor here, building a company, building, a business, building an enterprise. It can be a farm, because we have here this farmer. I keep thinking about him like it's something that I can picture, pile number 2, in this specific position. Having, a lot of abundance, this cornucopia of abundance that is connected to harvest, to the fields of harvest. So having a careful, mindful consideration of your investments, and being flexible, being able to change your mind and adapt to the circumstances, because I think that something is changing in the collective that is going to affect you a lot and possibly made you a little bit confused in now. Like this is now. I feel like this is now. And you need to reassert a connection, or reassert a certain set of values. I don't know why. Maybe it's something that's connected to a company or a project that you are really invested in, and it's kind of also making you change your mind about people, about relationships, about your dream life. Wow. I think that you're going through a big change in your life, how you want to move forward. So you need to be very flexible, to be able to change your mind, to absorb new ideas, not be stuck, to listen to the inspiration from spirit, from the angels, from whatever you feel like is guiding you, so that you can be like the wind and move at the right time, not, be scattered or juggling or split, or, like cognitive dissonance. Beautiful reading. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 3. Your card is Bastet. And Bastet is a very positive card. It's about protection. It's about nurturing, healing. But I would say that protection and connection also very good for relationships. She was the cat goddess that would protect infants and newborns. So, what is the theme of this reading for pile number 3? We have house again. Came out in pile number 2. House. Protection. Meetings. And expectation. Beautiful. Okay. I've shuffled these cards a lot, so let's see if we have any more repeating cards, because we had them in the first 2 piles. It was very interesting to see, and they behave very differently. So now they're so different. They feel so different again. Okay, what is this reading about for pile number 3? Acquisition. Sun in Taurus. Convention with Venus in Capricorn. Resourcefulness. Sun in Cancer. And finally, health with the Sun in Virgo. Very interesting. These 2 suns, they're so different. I feel like there's this protective energy here. And this reading to me is a lot of about many themes. It's like there's not one theme here. There's many. It's like I feel like there's something happening with your home, where you live, where your territory is, whatever it may be. It can also be your professional territory. So whatever you feel like is your playing field. It can also be real estate, because we have house and acquisition. And then in resourcefulness. So having access to the resources, acquisition, using resources, acquiring resources. House is also about stability. It's also about a structure or institution that can protect you. In health and convention, I feel like there's an expectation about something that you're doing. And you're also meeting someone. I feel like it's someone who you have been expecting, or someone who has high expectations of you, or specific expectations of you. Because with the convention here, I feel like this is something that is expected, something that is predictable in a sense. Let's see, what else do we have? We have the Hierophant. So maybe this is the person that you are meeting, or that has the expectations. The Seven of Swords. The Knight of Discs. The Eight of Wands with speed. Wheel of Fortune. The Empress. The Princess of Swords, or the Page of Swords. And the Ace of Discs. Ace of Pentacles. So what is this reading about? I think that this reading is telling you to ask for guidance. To consult an expert, maybe. You know, because we have Bastet here, I'm also tempted to talk about childbirth or to talk about pregnancies because of the Empress and Bastet, because Bastet is has such a motherly, has this baby energy to me. And because we have health here, I feel like maybe someone is trying to be a mom, and it's going to happen when you least expect it. And yeah, and sometimes we say that someone who is pregnant is expecting. So for some of you, this is about pregnancy. This is about expecting. And I think that you will, if you are questioning yourself, like if it's possible, if I would read this, I would say yes, and that it will happen when you least expect it, because you have the Fortune, Wheel of Fortune, and the Page of Swords here. This Page of Swords has this very blunt, unexpected, explosive energy. It cuts to the chase suddenly, and it's very, how do I say this? Has its own timing. And I think also because you have the Ace of Wands here, the Eight of Wands. I feel like possibly you have been deceived about something before. Because maybe something is happening quicker than you thought or slower than you thought. There's something about like misinterpreting a sign or misinterpreting a specific communication, like not understanding. Okay, just let me clarify certain parts of this reading because I want to know what this is about, and I get so many things, so many themes. The Five of Wands. Why is health here? Why? The Queen of Pentacles. Health. I feel like you have to defy conventions here, and I feel like this Hierophant character here is possibly someone who has been giving you wrong information. I don't know if this is an expert. I would try to get more opinions. I would try, okay. The Four of Wands with conclusion. I think that maybe you have ended a specific phase with a specific life philosophy, a specific teacher or a specific expert, something that has its own like way of doing things that is quite rigid and quite stiff. I think that you are ending the agreement with this energy. I think that you have your own resources. You have your own way of connecting to, you have your own structure. It's like not having to play a certain game by certain rules and finding another way to do something, or maybe waiting for a different solution to something. The Five of Pentacles. Yeah, I really feel like you have to leave something behind. You have to... What is it? Ten of Wands. It's something that's finished. Something that has no way of continuing in your life. And it's strange because I don't see anything about letting go. I just see something about acquisition. So it's like you acquired something. What have you acquired? Ten of Swords. And the Eight of Swords. This is so strange. This is so confusing. I need one more card here. Wow, this is really, it's possibly something that I can't really understand because to me it's very confusing today. Two of Pentacles. Just give me a moment. Okay. So possibly you have been acquiring, there's too much. Here there's too much. And it's confusing and it's becoming a task to, you know, bring all these things together. Incompatible things, possibly. Okay, so there's too much incompatibility here that needs to be kind of left behind. Ten of Pentacles. I think you have, it's like having your own resources and not needing to resort to people or to things that you are burdensome for you. People who have very strict rules, who have their own, stuck ideas. It's like I feel like you have acquired enough experience and structure not to be involved with things that are confusing you, people who have very different life philosophies. So it's like being protected from harmful. It's not corrupt, it's just incompatible. So being protected from harmful structures, institutions, philosophies, methods. It can be something related to your health. So, like changing your approach to your own health. This is not health advice, it's just an idea that is coming up in the cards that might suggest something that you can investigate on your own if you want to, and consult whoever you feel like is the right person for your specific questions. This is a very general view of this process here. So maybe you have to try different things, maybe you have to try different methods, different approaches, and possibly unconventional. Yeah, the Ace of Wands. I really feel like if you do that, you will discover something very powerful, something that will energize your search, your life. It will give you vitality. It will also give you the tools or the possibility of expressing a lot of energy, creative energy. So this is also kind of reinforcing that part of the reading that I talked about pregnancy, but it can also be like a creative project that you need to get a move, you need to do something that it's kind of urgent, because we have the Ace of Wands here coming in, with the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like this sense of urgency also with the Princess of Swords here. I feel like I feel like you thought things would be quicker and then they kind of stalled. But then if you change your approach to something, or something has changed, it ran its course, something is changing. That is going to open, it's like allow you to do what you need to do, to go forward. Suddenly, it's going to be quite sudden. Seven of Cups. I feel like you go forward knowing what you want, knowing what you need. Nine of Swords. Let me just clarify the Nine of Swords, because I see something, but I want to be sure. Six of Swords. You know, this is really a change in your approach. So changing your approach from possibly not being so demanding in certain aspects and being more blunt and a little bit more forceful possibly in others. So I feel like there's this reconfiguration of your approach. It can also be your approach to motherhood. If you have children already, possibly you're changing something in their education, because you have the convention here and the health, resourcefulness. It can also be like changing your educational model to adapt to the expectations of the world, because everything is changing so fast. So possibly that's something important for some of you. Maybe you are starting you yourself might be starting something completely different from what is expected socially, and that, you know, creates a lot of fear and anxiety, because maybe you will face criticism. But you know what, you should try, you should experiment. I feel like you should try things. You should try to experiment things and see if they work, see what works, and have this more experimental mindset, because health is like, you have to try what's good for you. There is knowledge, but your body is unique. So whatever works for a person might not work for you, and it's not because it's wrong. It's just because you have to tweak it a little bit, and because you are slightly different, you need a slightly different approach, or a slightly different medicine, a slightly different philosophy, a slightly different approach. And I think that you have this protective energy around you that's guiding you into creating something kind of it's very innovative, something that is game-changing, something that is quite different. Let me just clarify this Ace of Discs, the Hangman. I don't know why, but I just feel like there's some sort of life mission that you have to accomplish so that you can feel more at peace with yourself. I think you have very high expectations of yourself. And this is quite harsh. The way, like, I feel like you consider what you're doing and how you feel about what's happening around you, and what you should do to adapt to your reality, to what's in the collective energies, what's happening with the world, you know, how you fit in with the convention here, like where are you socially, economically, in your education, in your philosophy, in your approach to life, whatever. Can we know what this mission is about? Or, wow, the Knight of Wands. I really feel like you need to start something very innovative, and that is very scary. That is something that is creating a lot of harsh feelings about yourself. Like, am I failing at this because I am not following the conventional path? Like, am I wrong? Am I the one who is wrong? It's like there's this criticism. I feel like feeling like a misfit a little bit, but also realizing that you feel like a misfit because you have something that's very important that you need to do. And I think that you already know what it is. I think that it's something that's almost a part of your experience. It's a part of your own structure. It's something that is ingrained in you, and you have to start it. You have to start something, and you're going to be a pioneer, so it's going to be like trailblazing. I see surrendering to a life path, surrendering to a mission that you need to kind of open the way for this to happen, to break with the convention. It's like treating some sort of a disease that I feel like it's not something that is a physical disease. It's more like a psychological disease or a spiritual disease. But let me just clarify. The Princess of Discs. So you have the Queen of Discs and the Princess of Discs. This is all about taking care of the body. And the Prince of Wands. You know, I feel like you are being inspired to create some sort of method that heals body and spirit at the same time. Integrated. It's very unconventional. It's a life mission, and it's going to be something that you'll be trailblazing, you'll be pioneering. It's you need to not really care so much about what other people think. With the Princess of Swords here, she's so like, I'm doing it, I don't care, you know. And the Ace of Pentacles is just doing it, just applying it, just, you know, getting her hands on, you know, dirty, getting, you know, stuff done yourself, not waiting for anyone else, and surrendering to this life path, surrendering to this mission. You have all the resources. You have everything you need. You just need to break the conventions. You just need to... So it's like, in order for you to meet the expectations that you have for yourself, you need to be unconventional. You need to be a pioneer. And it's like not, you know, caring too much about what other people think. And also your inner critic that is going to try to, you know, keep you down and keep you in, you know, conventional, because it's safe, because you know that it's no one's going to harm you, it's not risky. I feel like you have to take a risk somehow. And if you're trying to conceive, it's also trying things that you never tried before. Not risky things, of course not, but trying things that you You might think, well, it's never going to work. That's just useless. Maybe, maybe if that's your wish, if that's your truth. Beautiful reading. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon.